Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode, we took on the Minnesota Wild in the first round of playoffs, and unfortunately, our team really underperformed. Our team, just had, a lack of offense. I don't really understand what the problem was, but guys like Asher Vance were very quiet, which was really surprising. We had a couple guys that were okay, like Kurashev, Lambert, Nazar, and Gerard. But I was not impressed with Byfield, for example, who didn't score any goals. Korchinski was kind of quiet, but he's okay offensively for a defenseman. Um, there was a couple guys like Pedersen had no goals as well. Vance only had 2 goals in 7 games. After having a very good playoffs last year, he fell apart in this year's playoffs. So I really don't know what the problem is with this team at the moment, but hopefully this offseason we can get more prospects in to help out with this team down the road. But there was just too many guys on this team that did not score any goals on the forward core, and that definitely hurt us, I think. Also, goalie-wise, it was good, but offensively, it wasn't. Kamesa was pretty solid in his 5 games, and Tarasov was really good in his 2 games, and likely we are going to be bringing back Tarasov as our backup next season. But anyways, before we get into the draft and resign stage, we do have a number of comments to go through. So the first couple are from Rebecca Weiss Woods. The first one says, as for your first pick, I would interview the 24th, 25th, and 26th ranked players. Your pins look really good for steals. We can't unfortunately interview because obviously we passed that stage. But let's take a look at 24, 25, and 26 because this first round does not look that good for this draft. But at least in the later rounds, we are going to be able to find ourselves some solid steals for this team. So 24, we don't know anything about this guy. We can only see based on his player stats that I would say he's probably... I don't know if he would be a grinder because of all those penalty minutes or what. I know this is just randomly generated, but it's based on what type of player the player is. So he does take a lot of penalty minutes, potentially. He scores around the same amount of goals as assists. He could be a grinder. He might be a sniper based on the goal total, but it's really hard to tell. And then this Bruin guy, we can't really tell much about him either. All of his things that we've scouted aren't really super high up. But he is a good goal scorer, apparently, for sure. That's one thing gotten down. So this guy's probably a sniper as well, but he might be of the medium top 9 variety, which is not that good. And then lastly, in Potter, the defensive defenseman or the two-way defender, whatever the heck he is, we can see a little bit more about him. So likely he is going to be our pick. There's a few other comments that actually suggest that, which I will get to those in a bit after we get through the rest of Rebecca's comments. But yeah, Avery Potter is likely going to be the one we take in the first round. Also, Rebecca says, I would bring back Tarasov. He's a really good backup. As for Gerard, you could pay him the money to help you get to the floor or see what he wants on the open market. Also, Rebecca says you could hire Daughtry and Carlson as coaches. So yeah, we'd probably be able to bring back Tarasov as the backup, and then we could probably see what Gerard wants on the open market, or just leave him in the open market and kind of take a little bit of a step back defensively. I don't really know, but that'll be up to you guys in next episode when we do free agency. But in terms of coaches, Daughtry and Carlson, I don't know if I could look at the free agent coach list right now. No, I can't. But we are going to have to find ourselves an assistant coach and an associate coach for this team, which is something that we'll probably do in next episode as well. And also the last comment from Rebecca says, cap floor is $78.715 million. And I was sending down players down and found the league min/max and roster moves if you need to know during the season, which definitely helps out. So if we go to the roster moves thing, we'll be able to see the cap floor there, but it's at $78.715 million. And currently we have how much money spent going into next season? We're only at 37.8, so basically we need to have another $41 million spent or so to be at the cap floor, which is kind of nuts. But at least we are going to be giving some bigger contracts to some of these guys like Holtonen and Korchinski and Nazar, so it should get us a little bit closer, and then we might need to sign some big free agents still. But we might be able to find ourselves a defensive replacement for Gerard, but we probably let him go to the open market first, but then we could always bring him back. Next comment is from Mike Garbrain. He says, I'd move all the way up to get the most out of Byfield and go for Manlow at number 1. If you don't want to go forward, and go with Denisov at number 3. If you can move up, he's a right D/lefty, OFD. Time to draft top 2 defense the team needs. Also, because all the UFAs and regroup in free agency and get some new players. Time to change it up. I don't agree with what you're saying really at all. And no offense, Mike, but I just trying to trade up and move to the first overall pick. It doesn't really make sense for this team, and also, or like moving into the top 3 in general. Like, I don't think moving Byfield makes sense at this point. Like, I don't know why you're sold on moving Byfield, because like I get that we have Vance and stuff like that at center and Pettersson, but Pettersson has been proven right now at the moment he's not willing to take that leap into being like a very good offensive player. He is listed as a second liner, sure, but I could probably play playing Vance on the wing. And Byfield, like, he's a 90 overall. He's winning a lot of face-offs. He's one of our best point producers over the last few years. Like, I just don't think it's worth trading him away at this point. But I do see that, like, maybe in a few years, when like Pettersson, if Pettersson gets up to like an 87, 88, and wants to take over that top line spot, then I definitely see the need for doing that. But for right now, I don't see it. Like, Brad Lambert's not even like a top 6 center, so he shouldn't even be in the top 6 right now. So I say Byfield's definitely our best chance to keep winning on this team if we want to hold on to him. I just don't see the need to move up into the top 5 at all, especially when this is a bit of a weaker draft class. So, but yeah, maybe down the road. And then also when you were saying to cut ties with all the UFAs, more than likely that is what we are going to do, as most of the UFAs are probably going to be cut ties with. So we can find some replacements in free agency. So Kachuk, Douglas, Lorenz, and Whistle. And then on the defensive front, it would be Girard, Juleson, Mitchell. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's that. The next comment is from HockeyGuy88. He says, this draft looks kind of weak, but Potter looks like the best option for you. As I was just saying, Potter is a choice that we could go with, probably is going to be the choice. And the last comment is from Saturn Otaku, who says, only the AI is allowed to win a Stanley Cup and President's Trophy after how he's been this season. I don't care where Jonathan Toews plays as long as it's not with Chicago. I'm more bothered about Brad Marchand retiring with the Lightning. Let Gerard walk to free agency and draft Potter. Don't waste any more draft capital to move up. Recchi looks like a steal, so definitely do what you have to do, must do to be able to get him. So, yeah, that Recchi guy is going to be an insane steal, probably. I did show you guys that at the end of last episode. If you didn't manage to reach all the way to that end of last episode because it was a little bit too long, this is who I'm talking about. Connor Recchi, this guy's supposed to go in the 4th round, and he's 2 years out. He's medium elite potential, and he's got some really good attributes, it looks like. So we are going to be drafting this guy for sure. I might have to move up in the 4th round to get him, but other than that, we might find ourselves some pretty good steals in this draft. So anyways, that was that. Let's get into this draft because I've already wasted a couple minutes just going through those comments. Well, not wasted a couple minutes, but going through those takes a little bit of time. So let's get into the draft. And we're already going to try and make a move for our early 4th rounders so we can get that boy in Recchi, because Recchi's the most important part about this draft right now, I think. So there is 32 teams, right? Just making sure we have no random other teams in this mode, right? Yeah, 32. Okay, so 64, then we'd be at 96. So yeah, he should be going like pretty much like mid 4th round, but I want to trade for the first pick in the 4th round, which New Jersey actually wants to move. A lot of teams want to move, so we'll trade for this pick at 97th. I could always take him with our 3rd rounder, but might as well trade for a early 4th rounder and make him go where he's actually supposed to go. We'll definitely give them our 4th rounder because we're just moving ahead in spots. And what I want to give them else? Is there some prospect that I'm not going to be able to sign? Pitten's got potential. I don't want to give them really anybody that's going to be super good. So let's take a look at trade values. Is there a prospect I could give them at least just to be kind of nice, you know, that they want? Fane. Yeah, Fane's one of these guys I'm not going to sign, but they do want him. So I will give them Fane, I think. He has low top 9 potential, which isn't bad. But he's 20 years old and he's 64. So this is just a little extra piece to give them something and move up. I think this should work. So let's see if this goes through. Also, there was Mark Fane, who used to play for the New Jersey Devils. So they're getting maybe a kid's son. I don't know. But let's see if this goes through. And that's accepted. Perfect. So we move up with getting rid of one of our prospects that I don't think is going to make the NHL team. We probably would have let him walk anyways to free agency, but We trade him to the Devils. Maybe they sign him, which is a good sign. And we move up all the way to the first pick of the 4th round, which should hopefully secure us Recchi and hopefully a future channel legend. You never know. Okay, let's sim the first 5 picks of this draft. So Montreal's going to take Manlow, who's an 82 overall power forward. Looks pretty good. And yeah, pretty much what Montreal kind of needs is more strength and stuff like that, I guess. But they do have, I guess, like still like what's his name, Slavkovsky. So they have a lot of big bodies now. McClellan going to New Jersey, a 2-way forward. Yeah, this guy looks pretty balanced. A lot of 85s, really good skating. This guy might be a really solid Selke candidate. Well, actually, he's a winger, though. But he does have 79 face-offs, so I don't know where they're going to use him, but hopefully they use him as a winger. Denisov is a 78 offensive defenseman. Looks pretty good. Got a really good shot. 87 shot power, but his accuracy is not really that there at the moment. But good passing as well. Really good skater out of the draft. So there is Denisov. I don't think any of these guys were really worth moving up for at this stage. Dallas at number 4 is going to take Vasilyev. So another Russian, probably, or Latvian. I don't know. Valery Vasilyev. Interesting. 2-way forward as well. Looks pretty balanced. Similar to that other 2-way forward we just looked at. And then the last pick of the top 5. Vegas is going to take Lee, who's a 75 overall top 6. And he's also a 2-way forward. Yeah, this draft is probably going to be pretty weak in the first round in terms of overalls and whatnot, but there is going to be probably an abundance of steals, which we pinned quite a few of them, so hopefully we could get most of those guys into our team. Let's sim to pick 25 and see if we could get that defenseman, which we probably can. Looks like, yeah, we're going to be able to get Potter here, which is good. Gives us more defensive prospects, because I think that's one thing we're kind of lacking in. This guy's got balance because of his size, offensive instincts, which is nice, and it's not sure on defensive zone play yet, but he's 3 years out. He does have a weakness in teammate utilization, but he is likely a 2-way defenseman. So welcome aboard, Avery Potter. And he is a 63 overall, medium top 4. Not too bad. No X factors at all, but still, I will take it. He's more defensively minded than he is offensive, but he does have a pretty good looking shot, and then he also has solid passing and whatnot, so he should be able to pick up some offense here and there. But there you go. There is there is Avery Potter for our defensive core in the future. Hopefully he gets some good development and doesn't grow to only being like a 79, because that's what a lot of top 4s have done for me in the past. Let's see what those other picks were looking like. So Bruin was a 64 top 6 forward, 2-way forward. There's a lot of 2-way forwards in this draft. No wonder Recchi's going to be so good. Who was the other guy that everybody was looking at? Yeah, it was probably Curry. I don't really remember. Oh, this guy is Brody. What the heck? When I saw the BB, I'm like, wait a sec. Come on, please beat Brody. And then look at this guy. He's Brody. You had Ivan, and you also had Marcel, and now you have Brody. That is amazing. Congrats to Philadelphia on getting the meme pick of this franchise mode series, probably. But still, that guy hopefully makes the NHL, because that's pretty cool. Okay, let's sim to pick 57. What picks do we actually have in this draft? I want to make sure we have picks in every round. Yes, we do. Okay. So we have a late 3rd rounder, a late 2nd rounder, and our early 4th, and then we have late picks in every other round. Okay. Let's sim to our 2nd round pick, see what we could snag up here in the 2nd. Maybe Safronov, goalie prospect. Ooh, an 888 save percentage. I know it's just generated, but this guy has no weakness. He does got a good glove hand. He's got good angles and lateral movement, similar to Kari Lettinen. I honestly might take him, to be honest. Get ourselves more goalie prospects, because I don't really need a top 6 defenseman, because most of those don't pan out. I did pin Schaefer, though, at this point. Yeah, Schaefer might be a better option, but I don't feel safe taking Schaefer, almost. He's got no weakness. He's got pro release. Like, even if he's a top 9, he might make the NHL. Is he compared to anybody? No, he's not. Yeah, let's take Tony Schaefer. Let's take Tony Schaefer. The goalie would be interesting, but I did pin Schaefer for a reason. So, yeah, let's go with Schaefer. See how good he is. He is a low top 6, which is not great. It's kind of worse than a medium top 9. Or worse than a medium top 9. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Good shooting categories at least. Maybe this guy becomes a good AHL, or maybe he doesn't become anything, but there is our 2nd round pick. 3rd round now. Just got to make sure Recchi is still there. He is. Okay, perfect. Which means this 3rd round, what are we going to take here? Or should we just do based on over? Oh, this guy had a 921 save percentage in the WHL. I know that's generated as well. He's got no weakness and no strength, so he's probably not that great. Francois Duret, no weakness, 4 years out. The 4 years out is intriguing. He might be a low elite. Yeah, let's take Duret here. He's a medium top 957. Yikes. And not that great. And let's send to our next pick here, early 4th round, and take ourselves Recchi. Yeah, Recchi's not supposed to go till like a couple spots still, but I am going to take Connor Recchi here at the 1st pick of the 4th round. He's got the size and skill. He's got leadership ability as well, so maybe a future captain for this team. He's got a good shot. He's got no weakness. He's 2 years out, and he's got medium elite potential because he's a 19-year-old. I don't know how this guy's supposed to go 4th round, but the Austrian, welcome aboard. He's probably going to play in the AHL right away. He is a 70 overall out of the draft at 19. Medium elite potential. That is a huge steal. This guy should have even been a 1st rounder, even though he's a little bit older. He doesn't have any X factors as far as I could tell, but he's got good shot power. His accuracy is a little bit off, but obviously that could grow. His offensive awareness is worse than his defensive awareness, but still, this guy's looking pretty solid. Good passing as well, so he should pick up some offense. But yeah, he's going to play in the AHL right away. That is a really great pick. Yeah, I really like this guy out of the draft. That might be one of our best steals in a franchise mode in a while. Being a 70 overall at this stage, he might be able to score some goals considering he's got 3-star shooting. Like, his weakest area is his physical play, but that's okay because he's a big guy. He's got good durability. His body checking could get better in strength as well, but he needs to grow into that body basically is what it is. But that is a really big steal. That is an awesome steal. Hopefully he does really well in the AHL next season. Like, I honestly just want to get to the next season as fast as possible so I can see how he does in the AHL level, because he might honestly grow to being an NHL within 1 year, which is nuts. There is a gem of a goaltender at this stage, Easton Donald. And we do have this guy that's supposed to go like in 7th round, so we'll probably take that guy in the 7th round, just because might as well not take him early. Was there any other gems did I just see? There was another gem, and it was Donald. Okay. Yeah, I might just go with Easton Donald here, the goalie. He's got work ethic and maturity. Can't go wrong with that, so let's take the goalie. Why not? Medium elite potential as well. Wow. 47 overall, so he's a little bit of a project goaltender, but still, I will take more goalies into my system and hope that one of them leads me to a Stanley Cup at some time. Our next pick here in the 6th round, and then we got our low elite to take in the 7th, and then that'll be it for this episode, or not episode, but for this draft, I should say, because we got to do the Resign stage, which is going to be probably a little bit of a quick task. We could take the low elite already, but I do want to try and find ourselves another random other steal here. Maybe a medium star. I don't know if I should be taking so many goalies though, because we got so many of them already in the system. I know I'm going to take Pielmeyer with the next pick, so maybe a low top 4 would be okay at this stage. He's got good compete level, work ethic, and character, which is nice, but pretty much he's nothing else other than that. Healy, not really any weakness apparently. Let's just see if we can see anybody with like a good shooting category or whatnot. Oh, there's somebody with an okay shooting. Aiden Medano. Well, he does have the last name Medano. He's supposed to go later than our low elite though. But I don't know if I want. Let's just keep scrolling through this a little bit, see if we could find ourselves the crazy steal without even knowing how good some of these guys are. There's another B- shooting. Rudy Frank. He's a guaranteed bottom 6 forward though. I guess we'll just take that guy I was looking at before if I can remember. Oh yeah, it was Medano. Let's take Medano. He's 20 years old, but we'll take him. Low bottom 6 sniper. I mean, he'll be a good AHL scorer if we do end up signing him to his ELC, but that's a pretty bad pick there. And our last pick of the draft will take that low elite, because he should be still available. Yes, he is. So Sasha Pielmeyer, another guy that played in Germany, different team than Recchi. But let's take him. And he's a 50 overall out of the draft, not bad. And he is a sniper. He's got not the best shooting out of the draft, but hopefully this guy develops into being something for our NHL team down the road. And that is our draft. Pretty good draft, I'd say, all things considered. Obviously a little bit of a weak first few rounds, but we do manage to steal Recchi. We managed to get also Donald, who's a medium elite potential goaltender, and Pielmeyer, a low elite sniper. And then the rest of them are all average picks. I mean, Potter is definitely going to be probably making the defensive core, at least making the AHL. The rest of those guys I'm not really sold on, but really happy with the pick of Recchi for sure. Biggest steal probably I've had in quite some time. So let's get to this resign stage. We'll reassign our AHL coaches because our AHL team has been pretty solid. Let's give them a little bit more money to accept that. And then we're also going to have to, at some point in next episode, get ourselves some more NHL coaches to go behind Durrett so we simulate a little bit better maybe. And let's get some of our scouts back, or both of our WHL scouts, so we can keep scouting out those good steals. Who is our German scout? They deserve a raise after finding Recchi. Let's see, who is our German scout of fun? This Cullen dude. Ryan Cullen, thank you for finding me Recchi. Okay. So that is that. Let's get to the re-sign stage. We got 61 million in cap space. Oh my god. Hitting the cap floor is such a pain with this team for some weird reason. Let's go to our young guys that are needing contracts, that are looking for an ELC. We'll sign Brunstrom. And I think everybody else is not going to be getting an ELC. I mean, we could sign Marchenko or Marcinko. Yeah, I'm not really sold on any of those guys. So I'm going to let all those other guys walk, because I don't think they will be making it to the NHL team. So there's the one UFA prospect other than Pitton, who I'll sign Pitton. And I will let go of Delorier, the backup potential. Let's go to the RFAs, or unsigned guys first, and sign Recchi, because obviously Recchi's going to be playing in the AHL. I also do want to give Datsuk an ELC, because he's probably AHL ready. He is eligible, since he is playing in Russia, or he was. So Recchi's getting his ELC, same with Datsuk. That's the first time I've had to sign a 4th rounder before I've signed a 1st rounder. Because like Bales isn't even getting his ELC yet from last year. And in our 1st rounder from this year, in Potter's not getting his ELC yet. So yeah, Recchi's jumped to the prospect pool quite a bit. And we're not going to sign Donald yet. RFA wise, let's see what we could give these guys. Ooh, that's a pretty high asking price for Holtonen. But I mean, this guy does pick up a good amount of points. But he's not really, I don't know if he's worth the $9 million. I could try and do like a bit of the 85% trick on this. Just because I think he is worth signing for 8 years, but I don't know about at that price. So we will try 85% on him, just to kind of save a little bit of money. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing this for everybody because we do need to hit the cap floor. So Holtonen will do 7.885, I think. We should be able to get him for that. And then that's a bit more reasonable, I'd say, for what he brings to the table. So 7.9 we'll do for 8 years. And then Korchinski, you know what, I might be okay with giving like a 5 or 6 year deal. Let's do a 5-year deal for him and give him a little bit more than he wants. Because I feel like that's a good steal for an 84, is like $6 million still at this stage. Because I know that like eventually top 6 defenders eventually ask for quite a bit down the road in franchise mode. So 5 by 6, we'll do that. Nazar, 3x2 is 6.5. Wow, he doesn't really want that much. I could find a steal with him in a contract. 5 years at $3 million. Yeah, let's do 5 years at $3 million. A little bit more than $3 million because I feel like I'm kind of gypping him off in terms of money. Here you go. Take a little bit more money just because we need to hit that floor. Edvinson, yeah, we'll just give you what you want because you'll still be an RFA. Regula, we'll give you a 1 year deal at what you want, a little bit more than that. And yeah, all these guys, there should be two-way contracts. I might have to let some of them go so then the guys that we just signed get into the lineup. But let's give all these RFAs two-way deals, pretty much, or most of them. I think I'll let go of some of these dudes though. I'll let go of like Del Mastro, make room for like Datsuk, for example. But most of the RFAs are going to come back, obviously. So Ledwinski as well, and that's good. Goalie-wise, Mickelson. We have so many goalies in our system, but Mickelson's been like phenomenal at the AHL level with a .920 save percentage. I know we're a good defensive team, but I do kind of want to bring this guy back again. We're going to give him a 1 year deal and sign him again for the AHL, or give him a qualifying offer at least, if he doesn't accept that. Okay, so now we'll go to this list with the UFAs. So you guys wanted me to bring back Tarasov. So Tarasov on a... Wow, he barely wants any money and he simulates really good. Let's give him a 1 year deal and let's give him a little bit more money than he's asking again, just because I don't feel like I'm going to hit the cap floor otherwise. So let's give him $3 million for a year. Enjoy that money. And then we got the rest of these guys. I am going to let go of a lot of these UFAs, so like Lorenz, Juleson, probably Entwistle. Yeah, probably Entwistle for now as well. And Douglas. Well, that was Boris Kachuk. He had like 29 points, 30 points last year. That's pretty good. He's not that bad of a player for like a fourth line option. I might bring him back, to be honest. And then Sam Girard. He's not really that expensive, but he is 29. He does want an extension, which is good too. I guess I can bring back Sam Girard, but I don't know about a multi-year deal. I might only do like a 2 year deal for him just because of his age. Yeah, let's just do 2 years and give him what he's asking for. Yeah, I think that should be fine. And then Kachuk, let's give him what he wants as well, a little bit more money. And then Ian Mitchell, I don't think I'm going to bring back. Just because we could find maybe some better options in free agency. So Ian Mitchell, will let him walk. And that should be good. So we should be able to get all those UFAs that we just signed, or the 2 UFAs and all these RFAs in. Let's see if they all accept. Hopefully they do. As we get some coaches accepting, and one of them I think did not accept, which is interesting. I'll just go through this quickly. They should all be accepting. Okay, Holton was the only one that rejected, and Sam Girard actually. So Sam Girard, we'll give you 1 year and 8.55. We'll try that for 1 year. I don't want to sign him too long term, to be honest. And then yeah, Holton will still do the 8 years. He actually wants 8.75 now, so he might have dropped his asking price, which is interesting. You know, that's a little bit more worth it, I think, for him. Let's give him exactly what he wants and see if he'll accept that. I don't need to do the 85% trick with that offer, I don't think. Let's see if he accepts that, which I think I just saw he did. Yeah, Girard accepts and Holton accepts. We're down to $33 million in cap space, which is still quite a bit. So we are going to have to sign ourselves some free agents, but here's what our roster looks like going into free agency. So we got Byfield, Vance, Nazar, or not Nazar, well, Pedersen, Nazar, Lambert, Zari, Reichel, Khrushchev. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left wing wise, 9, 10. We also got 11 and 12. I guess Hayes could play potentially on the fourth line. So we might just need some depth forwards, but I should just give them a lot of money again, but I'm not 100% sure with that. Defensively, we got Gerard Korchinski, which is not bad. Brunstrom, Edvinson, Regula, and well, Krudel and Phillips, one of them can make the NHL, but I think we need a top 4 defenseman. because Edvinsson I don't think is going to become a top 4 defenseman, so it'd be basically Edvinsson and Regula on the top 6, Brunstrom and somebody on the top 4, or Brunstrom and Korchinski probably still, because Korchinski can't really play with Girard, I'm pretty sure, chemistry-wise. So we should probably find somebody to play on that top pairing, and preferably a right-handed defenseman. And then we are good goalie-wise. Like, we really don't need to sign a lot, and we have a lot in cap space. So we're probably going to have to give a lot of money to depth guys again, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Let's sim to free agency. And yeah, we didn't get our AHL associate coach, but that's okay. Final thing, let's take a look at those free agents and the trading block. So we'll start off with free agency. So we need probably a top 4 defenseman is what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. You know who we should be signing. Oh my goodness. Okay, well that's like exactly what we needed. I was not expecting this, but Cale Makar has headed to free agency. He played 49 games only last year, so he must have been injured quite a bit, but 38 points. He's a right-handed defenseman. He's 94 overall. Wow. And he's, yeah, exactly what we need to play with, like, Sam Girard. I mean, I don't know if the chemistry would work between the two of them, but wow. That is an amazing one. He didn't play at all in the playoffs either last year, which is interesting. But maybe Colorado wasn't a playoff team, but still, that is a crazy good player to sign, and that would help us get to the cap floor pretty easily. So, yeah, Cale Makar honestly could be a realistic signing here, or we could go with somebody like Brett Pesce, who's defensively minded, since Sam Girard's offensively minded. He also looks really good for the top 4. Yeah, it's got to either be Pesce or Makar, I'd say, to sign. We could make a big noise in free agency this year. And then we don't need any goalies, so I don't know if I'll take a look at the rest of this, but we should probably send ourselves some depth forwards to some bigger contracts as well. But if you guys see anything else that we should sign here and then trade somebody on our roster away, then let me know as well. But it looks like a pretty good free agent pool nonetheless. Chris Kreider's available, Kuzmenko. A lot of good veteran players for sure. Like Kucherov is even really good, but he's 34 at this point. But we don't really need somebody like Kucherov because we got Vance. Bobby Brink is there. That's actually a pretty solid player for like a third line option. Is he a UFA? He is. Interesting. So yeah, there's all that. And then defensively, like we said, probably Cale Makar, Brett Pesce is the one. Or even Brandon Carlo, but Carlo's 30. So, I mean, Pesce's 32. But so it's one of those three. Because we need a right-handed defenseman for sure. There's other options too, like Walker, Marino, and Liljegren. But I think Cale Makar could be literally the best option for us. But the only thing is Sam Girard's an OFD as well. So I'm leaning towards Pesce in that sense since he's DFD, but not 100% sure with that. Final thing, let's take a look at the trading block. And then that'll be it for this episode since we are running around 30 minutes, I think, at this point. So Anaheim's got a lot of defenders on the block. Joseph, Matheson, and Anderson. There's a lot of defenders on the block throughout the entire league. Hanifin, Carrier, Kuznetsov, even Mata, Mahura. So we might be able to trade for a defenseman if we wanted to as well. Lindholm and Grzelcyk. What else we got here? Asplund and Mittelstadt. Calgary's got nothing. Carolina's got Lawton and Kerfoot. Colorado's got Val Nichushkin, but he's still making a good amount of money. Nick Hague and Hayden Fleury. I almost said Cale Fleury. Jacob Trouba, Lindgren, and Klingberg. Why is there so many defenders on the block? Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is on the block at 34. Seth Jones is still on the block. That's funny. We literally traded him to LA, and he's been on the block for like the last 4 seasons or so. So LA obviously regretting making that trade with us. Matt Duchene is on the block for Hagee, Sharon Govich. Adam Pellick, Patrick Kane's back on the block, but we're not bringing him back. Tyler Bertuzzi, goddamn. And then Tom Wilson and Anthony Duclair. Kale Clagg's on the block. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting players out here. Pullman, Dvorak, Evgeny Malkin still playing at 40, and Sidney Crosby's on the block. Yeah, let's just bring Sidney Crosby to play on our first line or something like that with Asher Vance. I'm joking because Obviously, we have Byfield, but still, bringing in Crosby for like a bottom 6 role would be pretty interesting, but he does still have value, and he probably will drop off quite a bit. And then him in Chicago also would look kind of gross, to be honest. Mason Marchman's back in Toronto. Interesting. And Wyatt Kalynuk, and that's pretty much it. That is on the block. So, yeah, next episode should be really interesting of what we end up doing free agency-wise, because this team is looking pretty solid still on paper. It's just about finding the top right-handed defenseman to play in our top 4, and I think we're going to probably be a playoff team again next year. Because if we brought in like Cale Makar or Pesce, our top 4 is really solid, and then our top 6 is pretty solid. And then forward-wise, we got like maybe an average forward core. Like our forward core could use some work a little bit, so we could always sign ourselves a forward if we want to. But other than that, I think our team is going to be pretty good next season again. But it just all comes down to, I guess, if we win the President's Trophy or not. Because if we end up winning the President's Trophy, we know we're not going to win the first round, or we might not win the first round in general because EA likes to give us losses. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to free agency. We'll sign ourselves also some assistant coaches if we remember. We'll sign ourselves maybe some other stuff as well. And yeah, hopefully this team has a good season ahead. I'm very excited to see what Recchi does in the AHL next episode as well. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. And I'll see you guys next time.